to a very special episode of The Numbers Game. I'm Cynthia Freeland, and this is our trade deadline special. We have our very first guest on The Numbers Game show, and it is a great guest. He's one of my favorite people. He's super fun, super funny. He knows more about football and can teach you more about football in an enjoyable and exciting way. It is Michael Irvin, the playmaker himself, who is the perfect person to break down all these different wide receiver moves that happened even before the trade deadline was nearing. This is the perfect person to tell us what we can expect from the NFC East, the NFC overall, and the AFC. Mike will even tell you how each of these different receivers sort of functions in their offense and what we can expect from it. I'm telling you, this man can teach you more about football and make it fun. You don't even realize you're learning, and it's just incredible. So with no further ado, Michael Irvin. You may know him as a 3-time Super Bowl champ, a Hall of Famer, the best Dallas Cowboy ever, the founder of the 88 Club, but I feel like I'm really proud to call him a friend. In fact, it is not hyperbole to say that I have learned more from Irv than almost anyone that I can even think of. So thank you so much for being here, my dear, dear friend. All these wide receiver moves, we have to hear from the playmaker himself, obviously.
And I appreciate you letting me in and letting me sit with you and get a chance to chat with you. I absolutely miss working with you every Sunday. So it's just a great opportunity to see you again. And you know I love you, Cynthia.
Oh God, we'll work it. We're going to figure this out. We're going to work together again.
We'll work together. Yes.
So obviously last night we saw a big deal. DeAndre Hopkins already out here being a big deal for the Kansas City Chiefs. Do you think that puts them over the edge with all their Rashee Rice, all of their injuries? Does that put them, are they the Super Bowl I know it's hard to ask a Cowboy that, but are they the Super Bowl favorites?
No, Super Bowl favorites. This move for me, Cynthia, I believe gives them a much better chance to go undefeated than had they made another move and got another fast guy. I believe what I see now with the Chiefs is going to be way more difficult to stop with Patrick Mahomes than if you had given him another Tyreek Hill. You know what I mean? Because think about you do numbers. You know the percentages of those opportunities down the field like that are very, very low. Very low. But the percentage of having you a 1A Travis Kelce, a 1 and a 1A, dude, with this dude who buys the kind of time he buys, and now he got 2 intermediate guys that are running open and running succinct with him, it's going to be way more difficult to stop this team now. And not only keep them in the favorite, they got a great opportunity to go undefeated now with that pickup.
Wow, that's big. And especially because no one's giving Patrick Mahomes single high safeties because that's just a stupid thing to do. So DeAndre Hopkins, those tight window catches, just such a huge deal to be able to have a guy who's so reliable in those tight quarters. Okay, so moving on to a guy who you know well from
the throw that ball high. When he did it yesterday too, you make a high throw. Them DBs, they can't climb up there and catch that damn ball. They don't have that kind of. They're very athletic, but they don't have that kind of hand-eye coordination to go up and then put their hands right in place when it's a high ball. D-Hop is great at that. He's real great at it. So yeah, that's almost child's play with those two.
Oh, I love that. Well, and you're really familiar with Amari Cooper, being that he was in Dallas for so long. How do you think the fit is with him and Josh Allen, who's maybe playing some of the best football we've seen of Josh Allen ever?
Well, in more ways than one, Cynthia, I've said that this was a great fit. I mean, Amari Cooper could still play football, and I was really upset when Dallas let him go a few years ago. You saw also last year, after the frustration he had in Cleveland, he was dealing with some frustration with what was going on with Deshaun Watson. You can tell. I saw a slant route that they ran in Cleveland, and Deshaun threw the ball behind Amari. And it looked like Amari was just he just batted at the ball. I'm done with this shit. I don't even want to deal with it anymore, And then Joe Flacco comes in, and he goes for 265 yards. He goes to Buffalo. Let me tell you why this is great. Talent-wise, they're tantamount. Right around the same area when you go from Stephon Diggs to Amari Cooper. But personality-wise, they're totally opposite, totally different. Stephon way high up here. Amari just wants to play some games of chess down here. And that right there, that mentality a mix great with Josh Allen's mentality right now. Because I think Josh has finally said, this is my team. I'm not listening to anybody else. I'm doing what I want to do, and he's doing it well.
I love that. Well, then we obviously have to go to the Dallas Cowboys and what's going on. Obviously, probably not your favorite season for the Cowboys, but they did get a wide receiver today with Jonathan Mingo. How do you think that fit works out? Obviously, CeeDee Lamb is out here doing things that are pretty incredible, but adding Jonathan Mingo, how do you feel about that?
It seems like something more for years to come, as opposed to anything. Even though he was added at the deadline, every other move teams made, you can see that they were making moves to help them this year. This move, I believe, helps Dallas next year. Jonathan Mingo wasn't, or the year coming, or they hope one of those years. Jonathan Mingo wasn't tearing it up, and he has no reputation for being dog in this league. So right now you're getting double and triple teams on CeeDee Lamb. You bring in a Jonathan Mingo. That's not going to change what you're getting on CeeDee Lamb. Now, even if you bring in one of those other guys, Jonathan Mingo is a younger guy, right? But you're bringing one of the older guys, Mike Williams. If you brought in Mike Williams, who I wasn't crazy about because he stays injured a lot, but you paid more for Mingo than Mike Williams.
Right.
Mike Williams alerts defenses. Oh, he's over there. We got to pay attention to him. You know what I mean? DeAndre Hopkins alerts defenses. Oh, he's over there. We got to pay attention to him. You know, those kinds of guys alert the defense so you can help get some of the pressure off of CeeDee Lamb. Jonathan Mingo, God bless that kid, just got in the league. It's not his fault, but he's put in a situation where, yeah, he's going to get famous real fast just because he put in this situation, but he traded to the Cowboys, but he's going to get famous. But no, they didn't help themselves this year.
What about you talked about Mike Williams and like one of those older guys. Obviously, he's now a Steeler. The fit Steelers, obviously, I mean, maybe a bit of a surprise. We always think they're good, but I don't know if we thought they were going to lead the AFC North good. But now you're in a situation where you have Mike Williams there. He's going to be obviously with George Pickens, Russell Wilson. I hesitated there because it's like, well, we're going to see more Justin Fields. Who knows about that? Let's focus on the wide receivers.
Right.
But how does that fit?
Well, and here's how it's good in this sense. It's a little duplication because Mike Williams is going to go up the field, but George Pickens goes up the field. And when I get to both of those guys, think about this now. I'm Russell Wilson. I'm running a 989. That's two takeoff. That's down the field, both wide receivers. Down the field. I got an option. Mike Williams, George Pickens. I'm throwing that damn ball to George Pickens every time. Mike Williams should never get an opportunity here. Not that Mike Williams didn't go make some plays with the Chargers and everything when he was there, and even a few with the Jets, but George Pickens is a difference maker in going up to get that football. So I see that as a little duplication, but he still will make a defense pay attention. So now that frees up George Pickens to do some other things. But yeah, so for Pittsburgh, that's a good pickup, and that's what Russell Wilson does best. He throws the deep ball. So why not get two people? So now when you put that safety over the top of Pickens, then I'll throw that thing to Mike Williams deep.
I love that. What about, staying in the AFC North, so Deontay Johnson, former Steeler, now a Raven. How do you think about that fit with Lamar Jackson and Zay Flowers and what they've got going on there?
Yeah, and giving them more to work with because you don't know about the injuries going down. But I thought it was so funny. You know what I thought about? I thought about this. Like, this has to be the year for Lamar Jackson if he's ever going to beat Patrick Mahomes. Remember? Because it has flipped. It has flipped. We used to talk about Patrick Mahomes had Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, all those great receivers, and Lamar Jackson had none. You got to go get him some receivers. You got to get him. Now he's stockpiling wide receivers, and Patrick Mahomes got none. And this got to be the year that you take him out, since he's finding receivers on the road, on the streets, and you put together this powerhouse. But the main character for the Ravens, that's Zay Flowers. Yeah, and that's not going to change. Deontay Johnson's not going to change that. Zay Flowers is the main dude over there.
Speaking of main dude, I didn't bury the lead here, but I'm sure you have some pretty interesting thoughts on the Jets and Devontae Adams and that situation there. I'm sure that one's probably the most interesting, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, the most interesting trade and for a lot of reasons, Cynthia, because I think, and I've been yelling this since day one, and I think this is the problem with New York. You keep trying to find Green Bay Aaron Rodgers. And that Green Bay Aaron Rodgers, I think God put him to rest in Green Bay. He put him to rest in Green Bay. You didn't get that so stop trying. So if you bring Aaron Rodgers over and add him to a good run game and defense, now you have something. If you bring Aaron Rodgers over and tell him, go lead us, now you don't have anything. Stop expecting the Aaron Rodgers to throw for 300 yards. Haven't done that in years. You know what I mean? Just that's not who he is. And even when Peyton Manning went elsewhere, when Tom Brady, those guys didn't go trying to throw a team to the championship. They weren't trying to do it shoulders down. They went to try to think a team to a championship. They did it shoulders up, making sure they put them in the right plays, and they used the guys around them because they knew they were older. Aaron Rodgers has to do that. You're not going to get Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams from the Green Bay Packers. They are no more.
Do you think that the Jets are no more then? Are the Jets playoff hopes, are they done, or what do you think is going to happen? Because the AFC is kind of weird.
Yeah, but it'd have to be a hell of a run. And we're talking about that on the show today because they say Aaron Rodgers been feeling like he's got that old funky look. Well, one or two wins can make you get that old funky feel, that funky look. But 1, 2 more losses will make you out of the playoffs. You see what I'm saying? So you got to keep towing the line to make sure you don't get them 1 or 2 more losses. As long as you keep getting them wins, you'll be okay. But yeah, they say he has that funky look. I think it's a little bit of a stretch, but who knows?
I mean, we'll see. It's a long road in my opinion, especially with the Bills running away with the division so far. I mean, the Bills could be by Thanksgiving already punching their ticket and printing up tickets for home playoff games. So who knows, right?
So, well, Cynthia, you know what happens? What happens is when you get an emotional win like they got last week, and you got the big emotional plays like Derek Wills, one-hander, and all that. Ridiculous. Everybody dreams the best dream. I'm telling you, we can do it. We can do that 7 more times in a row. Just like that, you know what I mean? Especially right afterwards. I always tell people hope dictate effort. You have so much hope right there. You're ready to give it all. You can do that. And they believe that. And they believe it until next week when they get in another game and that thing ain't going right. It's going to be. It'll be hard. It'll be hard. Yeah. But I don't think Aaron Rodgers will go out like this anyway. I think he'll, even if he don't work out this year and they continue to slide, I believe he plays another year. He's not going to let you guys win like that.
Well, I just have to ask you before we go. So who wins the NFC East? You know, is Washington going to surprise us? Because obviously Jaden Daniels has been incredible. But I mean, are the Eagles back? Like what should we expect?
Yeah, I like the Eagles and I like what I've seen, but I like the Eagles as long as I have A.J. Brown on the field. Even though Slim Reaper, Devontae Smith made some great plays last week to win that game, the Eagles are a different team if A.J. Brown is not totally healthy. And right now he's day to day, and that's good news that they'll get him back. That means he's day to day.
Right.
But for the top team right now, you got to call the Commanders. You got to call top team in the East right now, the Commanders. And what did the Commanders do? They doubled down today by going to pick up. I know we talked about the wide receiver.
Marshawn Lattimore.
They got a Marshawn Lattimore, and that was a great pickup. They needed, basically, they got a shutdown corner to add to what they have, and they needed that for when they get in the playoffs and they play the Almirant St. Brown, the Detroit, or they go and play the 49ers in the playoffs. They got to see Debo Samuel. You got somebody to say, hey, he can match up with he, and let's play football. That was a great pickup.
That's an incredible pickup. Marshawn, interesting part about the Marshawn Lattimore pickup for me is when you're looking at this Dan Quinn fit, it's a defense that takes a minute to learn. How often, how quick do you think he'll be able to fold into this defense and be the kind of, no yak allowed, like strong tackles, that kind of thing, with Dan Quinn principles that are just starting to get going with the rest of the team? Is it going to be a quick fit or is it going to take a minute?
Yeah, the greatest thing I think about Dan Quinn, Cynthia, that people don't understand is his ability to relate with players and relate to players. African American players is what I'm talking about. I mean, he's so good with it. He was great with it in Dallas. He comes to them. What I mean by that is he's not trying to make you come to where he is. He'll come teach you within rap music. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
He takes rap music to help you learn what you need to learn. So he's using things that you're comfortable with to teach you the things that you are unknowledgeable about. That's a smart dude right there. You know what I'm saying? That's a smart dude. And Marshawn Lattimore is a smart dude. So they won't have any problem, I think, finding the right fit for him. I look at it, that old Seattle, that old defense.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're a good cornerback in that defense. Yeah, boy. Yeah, I remember them days. Yeah, that's that's going to be good. And he had that in Dallas. Let me tell you, this thing people don't talk about. See, Marshawn Lattimore is a self-learner also. He knows how to calculate when and make calculated risk at going to get the balls and interceptions, those turnovers that he's looking for, that he had in Dallas. Now, in Dallas, he had Al Harris with him. Al Harris is the defensive back coach in Dallas. That's why the Trayvon Diggs and Deron Bland coming up getting all those interceptions, because he's teaching them those things. The things that Al Harris is over there teaching him, Marshawn Lattimore knows, so he can help with that secondary in Washington. That's why I say this was a super duper pickup.
Okay, I know you need to go, and I appreciate all of your time. You're my favorite person. How do you feel about my Lions, especially with the Zadarius Smith pick? Last question, I swear to God.
No, but listen, I'm good. But let me tell you something. I said this, and I'm saying this today when we do it on the show. This is the best team in the NFL right now. And it's so funny about this, right? Because Matthew Stafford, when they got rid of him out here in L.A., everybody was like, want to go up the field more. They wanted somebody to go up the field more. Throw the ball up the field more. This dude now, he's with a team that said, no, let's play the short game. That's the same game Tom Brady used to win all his Super Bowls. Let's play a short game. Let's play middle of the field game. Let's play inside out game. That's Tom Brady-ish right there. Let's go 18 for 22, 81% completion percentage. You can throw for 200 yards and we still blowing teams out. I'm not giving you those hard throws up the field where you get yourself in trouble making interceptions. They found a great system and put the right players around him. And hey, man, and he's doing it. You got to give Jared Goff credit. They put together a great team. And that running back, that backfield they got, that Thunder Lightning set they got, man, that's a very good football team right there. It's hard to beat. I call them the best team in the NFL right now.
I mean, I'm blown away by that. Let's just have them be the best team. Like, just make it to the playoffs as a Lions fan. That's how Lions fans feel. You are the greatest. You are the playmaker, the original 88. No one gets better than you. I can't thank you so much for coming on. Thank you. You're the best, Irv. I love you so much. I will talk to you soon.
All right, Cynthia. Love you too.
See, it's not hyperbole to say that Irv is an incredible teacher of the sport. We just got like several hours worth of information in 15 to 20 minutes, which is how Irv does it. And it also kind of shows you that, when he was talking about like football being played like above the shoulders, that is Irv in a nutshell. The man has been breaking it down and doing it better than everyone else since he was on the field, breaking it down and doing it better than everyone else. I can't thank Irv enough for taking some time to explain all of that to us, for breaking it down with us. I also can't thank you enough for spending some time here with me. I love our community. If you like this show, please remember to pass it along so that our community can grow. I'll see you back here for TNF, for the full week episode, for all of it. And thanks again.